All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Kodash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yallo from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson, and I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. Now we have here a video that I was profiling. This is I think the Prime Minister or President of Canada, Carnegie. He's going into how Canada is basically no longer an ally of the United States of America. And the title reads, Canada ends deepening economic ties with the U.S. PM, Carnegie signals strategic shift. So you're starting to see the other nations shift away from its longtime ally, which was America. Okay? And America has lost all of its allies, which was something that was, they say it's due to Trump, but it was always going to happen because America just does underhanded business with the other nations. And this has been the case for a very long time. Okay? So the other nations are turning against America. They're like, enough is enough. Okay? So this is, if you're not allies, then basically you're enemies. There's no neutral zone. Okay? The scriptures say that he that is not with me is against me, and he that does not planteth scattereth abroad. Okay? So, roughly paraphrasing. So basically, if you're not open allies, then you're basically enemies. So America is being sandwiched in between, all of its enemies. And Mexico and Canada, aren't any exception. Okay, and this is a prophecy coming to pass. So I'm gonna start off with the book of Isaiah 1 and 2, and it says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." All right? And this is all the left-hand magic, because Esau doesn't have access to the right hand. Okay? So all this time he's been accessing the left hand. However, going back up and mentioning the Egyptian against the Egyptian, these are all of the so-called white people, or those people that are Edomites, because, everyone that's so-called white ain't so-called white, if you know what I mean, because all Israel is scattered amongst all nations, including Edom, But the point that I wanted to make was city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So Canada is a kingdom, the U.S. is a kingdom, and if they're not allies, then they're practically enemies, all right? So we're seeing the beginning of the other nations turning against America. So I have a video here, and I'm going to let him speak and talk about how, Canada's repositioning itself to not be an ally of the United States.
This is an important day for Canada's workers. Look, we know the world's changing. We know that this decades-long process of our ever closer economic relationship between Canada and the United States has ended. And as a consequence of that, many of our strengths have become our vulnerabilities, particularly in those industries that are most tightly integrated with the United States. Headline, last year, 75% of our exports went to the U.S. 90% of our lumber exports went to the U.S. 90% of our aluminum exports went to the United States. 90% of our steel exports went there, all bound for a single market that has changed. Overall, for the Canadian economy, we estimate that U.S. tariffs and the uncertainty that they're creating will cost Canadians around 1.8% of GDP. That's about $50 billion lost from our economy, or the equivalent of $1,300 for every Canadian. And this is happening fast. It's a rupture, which means that our economic strategy needs to change dramatically and rapidly. And that change is in Budget 2025, our plan to confront these challenges and emerge even stronger, to move our economy from reliance to resilience. and to give ourselves far more than any foreign nation can ever take away.
All right.
This is
So this is what this is the Canadians. Okay, these are the Canadians. All right. So these people in the background, this is what they're saying publicly, but in the background, they hate America. Okay, this is Revelation 17 and 16, and it says in the 10 horns thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and burn, desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, so these other nations, they hate America. Okay, they hate America. All right, and he said, hey, listen, this shift is costing the Canadians money. Well, the scriptures talk about how when a man is deprived of his wages or his money, you basically slaying him. So this is even more true for a nation. When a nation is being deprived of business and trade, that nation weakens. That nation falls. Okay, in a lot of respects. So this is what America is doing with these tariffs and this radical behavior that Donald Trump is displaying. But that's been going on since way before Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a capstone, right? The other nations are tired of that shit. All right. So this next video, I just happened to scroll down and it was going over the destruction of America, and it's the beloved elder apostle Gabar. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let it play.
Revelation 18 and 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and that's talking about the nuclear missiles, all right? A great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down. Now in John's day, ancient Babylon was already destroyed. So what Babylon was John talking about? Well, he saw it in a vision. He saw America being torn up by nuclear missiles. We have the missile sign. There you go. There's one of them.
That's right.
All right. And those missiles are going to come from Russia.
That's right.
You worrying about, like Tahar always says this, you worrying about the Arabs, you worrying about this guy and that. You better worry about the Russians, because the Russians is the one that's pursuant to Ezekiel 38 that's going to come together and blow America off the map.
Yeah.
And man, when these missiles hit this place, it's going to just keep coming, baby.
Right.
When one missile evaporate, here comes the next missile.
Yep.
And they got missiles that can knock out 5 states. They got one missile, they call it the nation. This missile can knock out 5 states. Boom, gone.
Right. Right.
So America's out of here, man. Any of you that have your hopes and dreams in America, you got your head up your fucking ass, man. Revelation 18 and 20.
All right. So the elder apostle said it the best. Hey man, if you got your hopes and dreams in America, you got your head up your ass, man. Okay, and this is a perfect video to go in to show that hey, these other nations are going to turn on America and destroy this hoe. And you just seen these Canadians are mad. They are upset. Okay. Um. Let me get some. All right, so let's go to the book of Jeremiah 51 and 7. And it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hands, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drinking of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So the other nations have drinking the wine of Babylon, the philosophies of these Babylonians, right? And now their nations are in disarray. Don't let it get it. Don't get it twisted about China trying to boast as if their economy is great, or Russia trying to boast as if their economy is great. All these other nations trying to boast that they have such a strong economy and they're living in such a level of prosperity. They are not. Okay, they are not. These other nations are in are in a disarray right now. Okay, because the America has disrupted the sanctity of trade. Okay, they have disrupted how these other nations make their money, and they've got these other nations in continual wars and continual conflicts, which is causing their nations to weaken. In addition to that, um, you got all of these false flags, these FFs everywhere. Okay, everywhere you go is just false flag this, false flag that. You know, finger pointing this, finger pointing that. So the other nations are upset because they've changed their cultures, their philosophies because of the wine that America had offered, and now that they have bought in, their nations are hurting. Okay, as we just saw in that video, in this video here.
This is an
We are all about to face the hardest part of our life very soon.
Oh, you know what? I'm post that. Bishop.
Revelation 18.
All right. So you know, so as the bishop said, man, you know, we about to face the hardest part. I didn't mean to, scroll down to see if there's anything else, but as these things progress, yeah, things are about to get hard. Okay, but the other nations, you know, they're gonna start pulling, which they are already. They're pulling trade. Okay, let me see if I can find this real quick. Um, I'm gonna go to DuckDuckGo because Google be lying. And I don't even want to use Google's platform, so I go to DuckDuckGo's website because Google be lying. Let's see. I believe. Let's see. All right. So here you go, right here. So this is AI. It says China had made significant cuts to trade with this United States. It says significant. Okay, and let's look at this word significant so we can actually get the significant, great, significantly great or important to be to be worthy of attention, noteworthy. Okay, so this is noteworthy. It's something significant. All right, it says significant cuts to trade. Now I know that China cut the trade to silver. It's no longer trading silver with America and a lot of rare earth minerals that U.S. needs. But I believe they're cutting all other types of trades, and I believe that also I heard something saying that China is cutting trade altogether with the United States. They don't want to do business with the United States no more. Okay, but I didn't pull that article. It was just something I just thought of. So maybe in the next lesson I can grab it. But it says China has made significant cuts to the trade with the United States, particularly in the response to and tariffs and trade barriers imposed by the United States government, which has led to increased tensions and retaliatory measures from both sides. These actions have resulted in a notable decline in uh, uh, bilateral trade. Okay, bilateral trade volumes and have affected various sectors, including agriculture and technology. All right. So, um, so we see in this particular article that China, and this is AI, so you know AI scrubs the internet. So China has made significant trade uh, cuts with the United States. Well, that's gonna most of our products and most of the technology, chipped microchips and rare earth minerals and things that we need come out of China. Okay, so these Americans over here are going to start running low on these things coming 2026. Why? For the same I just read in Revelation 17 and 16. This devil is greatly despised. Isaiah 19 and 2. The Egyptian is being set against the Egyptian, and the modern day Egyptians are these Babylonians. Okay, so you know you see these so-called white people all over the world that are fighting. NATO and the EU is breaking apart. All of the European allies are breaking apart. So you're starting to see, you know, as it goes into let's see, the book of Daniel. We're going to come back to this. Just want to make a quick pit stop. Let's go to Daniel, 2nd chapter. All right, here we go. So, Rome, right here, Daniel 2 and 40. It says, "And the fourth kingdom, this was the fourth beast as well, the one that was dreadful and terrible. Um, it says, the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdue all things, as iron and breaketh all these, shall break in pieces and bruise." This is talking about the Roman Empire, right? Whereas thou sawest the feet and toes were part of potter's clay and part of iron. The kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. All right, so this is talking about NATO and the EU and its allies. Okay. All right. And America. So it's going to be partly strong and partly weak, right? So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing the alliances starting to fall apart. Okay, so the alliances of Babylon are breaking up. That's that miry clay. They're not bonded together like iron was in the Roman Empire. Okay, so this one is partly strong and partly weak. So we're seeing the other nations fall, break away, um, or they're starting to turn on each other, or on Babylon. All right. So it says, Jeremiah 51:8. It says, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her, if so she may be healed? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let's go everyone into his own country, for her judgment has reached unto the heavens and is lifted up even to the skies." So Babylon is being judged, and this is why you're seeing all of these things happen. Because, as I was watching a video with the elder Apostle Ramla just now, right before I did this lesson, um, uh, um, Esau is being, the charges, okay? All of the charges are being revealed to the world. Everything this devil has done is being revealed. Okay, so he's about to go into his judgment phase. All right, you know. So, um, let me go to Obadiah. This is Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy." Let's start at verse 6. It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" So, as I was saying, the charges, okay, all the evil things that Esau have done is being revealed. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee." See, these men, these other nations were once at peace with America, okay, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in them. All right, so hey, America don't even realize the moves that America is making. Right, these stupid ass moves is causing the decline and downfall of America very rapidly. Or maybe they do know, they just don't care, you know. But there's no understanding or wisdom in America. The wisdom has departed from teaming. All right, so even if they did know what was going on, there's nothing that they can do to stop it. All right, and it says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that have ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's none understanding in him." Okay, so those men that were Confederate, y'all were all a team, y'all were allies. Okay, those men no longer want to have anything to do with America. All right, as a matter of fact, they want their payback because you have caused pain to their countries. All right, you have disrupted the flow of how things work. So these other nations aren't making money the way they used to because of what DJ Trump has done. But as I said, this has always been happening. I'm gonna grab one more precept. Close it out. Uh, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus 14 and 5. It says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be do? To whom will he be good? He should not take pleasure in his goods." Okay, so this devil, he's not good to his own people. He's not good to his own kind. So his own kind is turning against him and everyone else. He is not fit to be a ruler. You know, and we're watching the fall of his kingdom in real time. So all of these nations are turning against Esau, Edom. Okay, and Esau Edom is turning against himself at the same time. So we're watching Isaiah 19 play out right before our eyes. So with that, I want to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, and middle sons, and next time I say shalom.